Welcome to Get Lit Friday, Thanksgiving edition. I'm Ilana Segal.
And I'm Jared Brener.
And this week we are going to be analyzing the song Pink and White by Frank Ocean. So let's get started.
That's the way every day goes. Every time we have no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow.
It's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me.
If you could fly, then you'd feel south.
Up north's getting cold soon.
The way it is, we're on land.
Still, I'm someone to hold true.
Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined.
Just the way you showed me. You showed me love, glory from above. Regard, my dear, it's all downhill from here.
In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nose dive in the floodlines, tall tower of milk crates.
It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed.
If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool.
You kneeled down to the dry land, kissed the earth that birthed you.
Gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. You showed me love. Glory from above. Regard, my dear, it's all downhill from here.
Remember life? Remember how it was? Climb trees. Michael Jackson. It all ends here.
Say what up to Matthew. To Shub. Say what up to Danny. Say what up to life immortality.
Bending up the Nikes, running out the melpamine, nicotine, stealing granny cigs. Take it easy.
Give me something sweet. Bitch, I might like immortality. This is life immortality. Alright, the first four lines of the song is touching on things beyond our control, such as the sky being pink and white. We have no influence as to what the color of the sky is, whether it's blue or pink and white. And he also mentions he has no control over if the ground is black and yellow, which is a reference to the street. So maybe he's hinting at the fact that there are some human things that he also is beyond control, maybe more big picture things, like building roads and things like that. He has no influence over.
The next part, in the same way you showed me, nod my head, don't close my eyes, halfway on a slow move, it's the same way you showed me, is talking about his significant other who has taught him to accept the things that he can control and even embrace those things that he can't control. When it says, nod my head, don't close my eyes, it's kind of talking about how he's saying yes to the things that he used to be scared of.
The next four lines is referencing a bird and how it naturally migrates south when winter approaches and it's getting cold. But then he mentions the fact that he and his significant other and everyone, all people are not birds, and we can't just fly south when it gets cold, much like how we can't just avoid situations because we don't like them, or try to avoid situations that are beyond our control. The situation is just basically inevitable that he's in right now with his significant other.
The next two lines, keep you cool when it's still alive, won't let you down when it's all ruined. He's talking about how even though the relationship is ending and he knows that it's ending, he's not gonna completely leave her when it's all over. He's still gonna respect her, and he still is thankful for the things that she taught him about accepting the things that you can't control, and that he's always gonna have her back.
Next is the chorus. It's basically just talking about how the relationship has hit its peak, and how it's just a reiteration of how his significant other has taught him accepting things beyond his control, and really touched on him and given been a great impact on him. But from now on, it's all downhill.
The next 2 lines, in the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade. It's talking about how chaos is imminent. Here talks about hurricane season, how the end of the summer is the worst part of hurricane season. But summer is used ironically here because summer is usually a word that signifies happiness, and here it is signifying the end of their relationship and that it's all spiraling down.
Next, he's talking about going off of the imagery of the hurricane, how he sees like all this destruction and stuff as a result of the hurricane, and instead of being afraid and trying to escape it, he's just nosediving straight into the chaos. And basically, this is just showing how he should embrace what's currently happening, because from here on out, it's going downhill.
The next part is kind of an appreciation for his mother. When he says, kiss the earth that birthed you, he's referencing his mother. Earth is often a word used to reference one's mom, as in like Mother Nature. He's kind of saying thank you because she helped raise him and helped him get through tough times, which is said in the last 2 lines. Gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined.
Then it repeats the chorus again, and after that, it's talking. He's reminiscing back to simpler times, specifically his childhood and stuff like that, and childhood things like climbing trees and Michael Jackson, and times where he didn't really have to think about struggle and issues and hard times and things like that. And then he mentions how it all ends here. This shows that he's reached not only has he reached the peak of his relationship, but he's also reached the peak of his childhood, and now he's entering in adulthood. And like before, it's all downhill from here.
The next part, bending up my Nikes, running out the melpomene, nicotine, stealing granny cigs. This is signifying that times are getting tougher, he's getting older, and he has to deal with more adult things. It also mentions 2 Greek gods in this, Nike and Melpomene. Melpomene is also the town in which he grew up, and it's the god of music and tragedy, and Nike is the god of victory.
And then finally, with the last 3 lines, it's sort of a closure and resolution to the entire song. Throughout the song, he touches on things beyond his control and how his significant other taught him to accept that, and it mentions his childhood and how that's ending and stuff like that. He's basically realizing that things like love and his childhood and life as a whole none of those things are permanent, none of them last forever, but the memories that he makes in the process of these events do last forever. They are immortal.
Now we're going to analyze the poem using tip fast.
Okay, so first off is the title, Pink and White. What we know of pink and white is we saw those as sort of warm and happy colors. Not much else to it that we know of.
Next is paraphrase. Frank Ocean acknowledges the lessons his loved one has taught him to accept things beyond control. He realizes that he is at the peak of his relationship and that he is entering adulthood, which both will go downhill from here on out. Despite his childhood and his relationship ending, he knows now that his memories won't. His lover taught him to accept that and just enjoy the present.
The figurative language that we caught were first when it's still alive, which is personification of his relationship. It, in this situation, is his relationship, and he's talking about how it's alive. Glory from above is a reference to a higher power and religion and such. Hurricane is a metaphor for the ending of his relationship with his significant other. The earth that birthed you is personifying the earth, giving it human powers to give birth. The earth is also a metaphor for his mother, as in Mother Earth. Running out the melpomene is an allusion to Frank Ocean's childhood neighborhood and how he left it as he's growing older. Nike and melpomene are also allusions to Greek mythology. Nike being the god of victory, and melpomene originally being the god of music, and then later the god of tragedy.
The attitude is reminiscent and nostalgic, and then it's also epiphanizing and accepting, as Frank kind of accepts and realizes that his childhood is over, and he now has to deal with more adult things, and such as his relationships and how to navigate and deal with all of that.
Okay, so for shifts, there's a shift in subject, starting out with touching on his lack of control of some things and how he needs to accept that and acknowledge that, and how his significant other taught him to do this acceptance, to then talking about his relationship with his significant other and how it's going downhill, to an ode to his mother, appreciating his mother, and maybe his mother is a reason why he has this acceptance that he's learning from his significant other, and how his mother contributes to a lot of his morals and values and stuff that he's learned and that he's learning in the process of this song, to then going from mother to childhood, and reminiscing on his childhood and how he's reaching the peak of his childhood, and then finally to understanding the end of all of these things. The shift sort of works in a circular motion and goes around and back and concludes what he touched on in the beginning about accepting things beyond his control. One of those things being beyond his control is things not being permanent, like life and love, and his childhood and stuff, and how he's accepting that.
Taking a second look at the title, Pink and White, we now see that it is a symbol for things that are beyond our control. Here he's talking about the sky color, because we have no control over whether the sky is pink and white, or blue, or black, or whatever.
And finally, for the theme, we wrote, one must accept the aspects of life that are out of our control and realize that the life and love are not eternal. The memories that come from it are. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jared Brener.
I'm Ilana Segal.
We hope you learned a lot and enjoyed. Adios.